The crew worldwide, from Cali to Twitter, real hardcore fans, boxing ass niggas, consistency cops, police the views, we'll pull up receipts for any debate you choose. Shout outs to Kownacki for the dope production. Ring gang stay with the best discussions. Ring gang radio.
What's good, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Real Talk, where as always, if shit's real, we talk about it. I'm your host for tonight, Patscorpio, the Illinois representative, and as always, I got my man with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Yo, what it do? LB Lauderdale Boss, aka Shutterworth da Gawd artist, the Soul Wars creator, ringgangradio.com.
Yes, sir. Ring gang in the house, as always. And as always, also I got my other man with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
What up? What it do? You already know. It's your boy P, King P, Bodega P. I'm Bodega Boy in the building. Ready? Let's get it.
Hey. All right. So yeah, we got two topics. The first topic, of course, we're just going to recap the interesting PBC card from Saturday night on Fox.
Yeah. Niggas say interesting, like.
Well, interesting.
Usually interesting means the opposite of it's not good, it's not bad. It's just interesting.
Facts, pure fact.
Anyways, no time.
Yeah, no, but yeah, I mean the card didn't. I mean there were some aspects of the card that didn't go the way that I expected it would go. Well, really, it's only for one fight, but the first fight, was Wale Omotosho versus Curtis Stevens. Now, Curtis Stevens, as we all know, is the last of the legendary chin checkers, from the amateur days or whatever. Now, Pete, and of course, if you're a New York nigga that's in the amateur boxing scene in the Northeast, him and Jaden Cogrington, they had a reputation. Unfortunately, neither didn't really pan out in the pros. Jaden's been long retired. He's a cop right now. Stevens, though, he's still in there, man. He's been in there with some of middleweight's elite. With Triple G, of course, and Lemieux and Dom, and and of course he's lost to all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's facts, you know what I'm saying? Like, he lost to all of them. Like, some of them, like, why? I mean, even Ndam never got knocked down by him. You know what I'm saying? That's Ndam knocked him down. I mean, Stevens has had has had a career that's been, has come up short. Yeah. So basically,
he's always remains a threat, though.
Yeah, he always remains a threat because he does have power. He's definitely explosive power. But I think now age and possibly the type of fights he's had, some of them were like really brutal losses. I think they're starting to take their toll on him, and it was apparent in this fight with Wale Omotosho. I mean, every solid shot Wale landed was hurting him. You can tell when fighters are shot. I mean, Curtis is not a chinny person. He hasn't been a chinny person all through his career. Usually it takes a while for him to crack, but in his later fights, if you hit him a good amount of time, he's in trouble. And I think Wale dropped him in the first, dropped him in the second, and pretty much knocked him the fuck out in the third. I didn't expect it to be that dominant. I will say that. I mean, I thought it wouldn't pick up until like maybe
I'm sorry, apologies, not Stevenson. I'm messing up like Lennox and Wilder was on the damn broadcast. Them niggas are just driving me crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know.
It's fucking Stevens, jeez. So my bad. Stevens was right before Stevens was finally stopped. That was the most competitive he was in the whole fight because he actually heard Wale right back, and he was going at it and he was really throwing hands. But if it's Wale recovered and hit him with that damn nasty ass combo, it was out of a Orlando Salido page.
Yeah.
And it was a nice ass combo. I love combo knockdowns. Like that shit was raw. And,
yeah, I mean, Stevens felt heavy. I mean, Stevens felt heavy as fuck. Like, I mean, his legs just went under him. Like the first two, like, okay, they weren't that bad. The third one was like you could tell that he was out of it. Like,
Yeah, he definitely was.
You know, so I mean, that was just like his first knockout in about 5 years, 6 years, man. Like
5 years. 2014 was his last knockout.
yeah, that's incredible. You know, that's crazy. And you know, Stevens, like, I mean, he had been operating for most of his career at 168 and then 160, and he was trying to go for a fresh career start at 154. But yeah. I mean, usually going down in weight after a amount of time is usually not the beneficial thing, especially if, like I said, if you had if you have mileage on your body. Even though, what was that, Pete?
No, I was just gonna say. I'll go ahead. But I was gonna say that's true because my homeboy that was there, that was at the Barclays, like texted me when it happened. Because it's funny because we were having this conversation last week, and he always tells you when you're getting older, it's much harder to move down than it is to move up, and like it's worse to move down when you're later in your career than move up. And he's like, he texted me right after, like, what I tell you, I knew he was gonna get knocked out.
Yeah,
just that mileage that he has on his body, and he's like, you know, his chin's not gonna be able to take that. It's gonna wear on his chin going down in weight, and he's been through wars, and he's not gonna be able to handle it. And Wale's not exactly Wale's not a light puncher, but like you said, he hasn't gotten the knockout in like 5 years. So
hard enough.
Yep.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it hits you hard up and down.
Situation. Just punch hard enough, and the thing is, he punched hard enough, and he put the punches together. That's another thing. Some fighters would have made this a 7-8 round fight, but Wale seized the fucking moment, and to his credit, made PBC get one of those. Well, I'll be down. This was a decent night of boxing cards unexpectedly.
Yeah, right.
He set off that motherfucking night. I ain't gonna lie, because as soon as that shit happened, I was like, oh shit, like, you know, you sat up a little bit, like you done got serious in 2K, like hold on, let me pay attention now, like, you know, this nigga moved up to 154, got it, okay. Like, oh shit, he got him another TV appearance, and hopefully a bigger payday.
You know, facts, pure facts. And regarding Stevens, I mean, Stevens is done. Like Stevens should, if he hasn't made the exit strategy out of the sport, he should really start doing it now. You know what I'm saying? Like he's completely finished. And like, I mean, go up, go down, doesn't matter. It doesn't make no difference. I mean, he has too much mileage, too many brutal knockouts, brutal fights. You know, it's I mean, he's good. I mean, he'll knock out.
And please don't go to 154. Just at least keep it at 168, 160, 165 catch weight. Like, don't do it to yourself no more, bro. Just, you know, if you're gonna take that beating, at least, you know, be fully, you know, capable of taking it. Like, you know, be at a weight that's better for your health. Like 154, nah. Like,
yeah, 154 is still a very formidable division. Like, it's not a division you could fuck around in like that. You know, if you're not
either division, really. Like,
yeah, too. Yeah, 154. I mean, he's already ran through the 160. Pretty much the heavy hitters at 160. And like there's 168, you know, but I mean,
just many. Like, he got to have an exit strategy at this point, or just, you know, get lower level fights at 160 and I don't know, play the journeyman role, hoping he could, you know, score an upset. I mean, I really can't say. Like, he's been in the game a long ass time.
Right, you know, and he's like, I mean, and he's never really gotten to that next level because his best career win was a Toronto Johnson fight, you know, because he was losing that fight, You know, and that's pretty much the only time he's won like a fight that may have been of significance. But then he's just never gotten past knocking out a C-level fighter. I mean, going past, knocking out anyone above a C-level fighter.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you don't want to see
level power. Like he has real power, but he don't have the skills to elevate everything else, like to elevate the power. So
yeah, and that reminds me, you just triggered a memory because they announced Curtis Stevens as the cerebral assassin. I was like, who? I was like, nigga, who? Curtis Stevens? No. Curtis Stevens is not no damn cerebral assassin. No. I was like, who told him that he can call himself that? I was like,
you let your little nephew, just, create a name for himself. And he just make himself some awesome shit, and you're like, nah, nigga, you're not super universe hero man or some shit. Like, nah, nigga, chill. You're not Galactic Primus.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this nigga's like, chin check. I mean, he was a legendary chin checker. Call yourself that. Don't call yourself no damn cerebral assassin.
This new shit. You're not fucking Maximus Power, or I mean.
Oh my God.
Maximus, like, nah, nigga, like, you Curtis fucking Stevens, bro. You a chin checker for life, bro. Like,
yeah,
it is what it is, man. Like,
and yeah, and like I said, I mean, we just hope that he does have an exit strategy, like, because journeyman, jobber, try to get one more payday. I mean, fight lower level competition off TV. That.
I'm not even sure he's gatekeeper level status anymore.
Yeah. I mean gatekeeper for 154. Shit, and not the way he lost. So it's like,
Yeah, no, like, I mean, he doesn't take a good shot anymore. So I mean, it's pretty much, it's definitely time for him to think about doing something else in the, outside of boxing. So yeah. And then we have the second fight, which was the unexpected fight, that no one really saw. I mean, of course, if you did, you probably would want a shitload of money. We had Marcus Brown defending his interim WBA light heavyweight title versus Jean Pascal. Now, before this fight, I mean, pretty much, I was not with this fight.
We put it on it. We keep it real.
Yeah. Like Pascal was. I mean, Pascal has definitely seen better days as a fighter. There's no question about that.
That's an understatement.
Real talk. And then we all pretty much thought that Brown, because Brown would probably beat him down. Imagine how surprised that didn't happen that way. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what. I mean, Pascal was exposing pretty much really one flaw that Brown had, like backing up with his hands down. And I don't understand how. I mean, one right hand you crash to the jaw, you go down. Okay, you adjust. Two more times, like
over.
Yeah, over and over. And I texted LB. I'm like, this dude, like, he's making like basic ass, like, simple mistakes that you learn when you're like fucking just learning the box. Like, every time he threw the left, he was like either coming back, bringing it low, or sometimes he was barely bringing it back at all. So like every time Pascal hit him with the right, like he could not miss with it. He was landing at will. He could have spammed that shit over and over and over. Like, he could not avoid it.
Well, it was damn frustrating. Like, man, and that was the first big mistake he made. The second big mistake is letting it even get to that level. You know why? He shouldn't even be fighting Pascal as a counter puncher. Especially when we're talking about counter punching, and we're talking about, carrying the fight. Like, dude, you're the young guy in his prime, the bigger, stronger, athletic guy, supposed to be the bigger puncher, yada, 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 more speed, quickness, everything, world class. You know what I'm saying? You're not a rookie no more. You know, you got the interim belt. Fight like it. You know, pump the jab, triple the jab, double the jab. Work your offense. Let the body shots flow. You're dealing with an older fighter. Let the body shots come in. Power shots. And back up Pascal and just take him out of his game. But when you don't try to back up Pascal and control him, you let his wildness and his awkwardness and all his wild swinging and Mayorga misses, and you let all that shit become a bigger factor than it should be. See, when you fight wild niggas like that, you gotta control them. Those Maidana cats, those Pacquiaos, all those type of dudes with the herky-jerky all over the place, punches that come from different angles, you gotta control them motherfuckers. Because if you don't, and if you have leaky defense, they always end up catching your ass. And that's what happened with Brown. He's playing counter puncher. He's, you know, making a slow ass fucking fight, taking his time. And then on top of that, you know, he has a slow ass pace, you know, so he's winning, but he's just doing enough to win. But what makes that bad is, you know, he's still getting caught with the same one punch over and over. So it's like, and he's getting dropped. So you're like, damn, it's a matter of time. Like, is he gonna just pick it up and get Pascal out of there, or Pascal gonna just pick it up and get him out of there? So it was an interesting fight where it became an interesting fight where initially we was all like, these niggas, like Pascal, retire, man. You good. You done enough. Brown, stop being hot and cold. Do some more.
Right.
And then look what we got.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like, because I was like, I mean, 3 knockdowns is nothing, I mean, that takes a toll on the cards, and that was only in like the 7th round, and it's just like, I mean, he kept on getting up, but it's like, I mean, but it was like, you felt like it was only a matter of time that Pascal probably knock him down again, and I was just thinking that this fight was going to end up on some Peter Quillen and Dom type of shit, you know, where, and we were about to get some interesting scorecard fuckery, but we got different kind of fuckery. We got a clash of heads and then bleeding like a stuck pig type of fuckery, you know. And you know, Fox is very sensitive about airing blood on TV, so they tried their damnedest not to show Marcus Brown leaking like a motherfucker, like over his eye, like he was gushing blood.
This was the Dawson fight all over again to me. This was just great value Dawson versus Pascal. That's all it was. Same fucking mistakes Chad Dawson did with the waiting back on Pascal. Like, take it to Pascal. You know.
I mean,
the same mistakes over and over.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. Like, and it's one thing too. I mean, I think this is probably karma for what happened in that Badu Jack fight. Well, Brendan Badu Jack. You know, he legit lost to Marcus Brown. I'm not gonna make. I mean, the cut is whatever, but I mean, by the time the cut happened, you know, Brown was pretty much in control of the damn fight. And of course, like I said, it's ironic that this fight also ended with a bad cut on him. So I'm thinking to myself, after 3 knockdowns, that Pascal probably earned himself a technical draw in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking to myself. Okay. Yeah. But then
I thought it was gonna be a draw as well.
Yeah, but when I heard 75-74, I was like, I set up. I'm like, okay, who's this guy now? So I'm thinking to myself, is Pascal going to like get this by the skin of his teeth? And when they started Pascal one, I was like, and I clapped. I was like, I legit clapped. I don't know why I did it, but I was over there. My boys looking just like.
And honestly, it's like it was a fight where you like Pascal did not deserve to lose that. I don't even think he really deserved to draw. You could have scored a draw, but for how frustrating Brown was, you'd rather get the Pascal win.
Right. You know, and I mean, I was like, hey, Pascal won, and it's just like, I mean, granted, it's only an interim belt. Like, it's. No, I mean, did it shake up 175 a little bit, but not much because, like I said, Pascal only holds an interim belt because the real WBA champion.
Pascal made himself a top 10 player at light heavyweight though. That's a thing. Like it's like he had changed his spot. Like now it's like you got to kick Brown out of the top 10 and put Pascal back in there. And it's like, damn, like Brown, you had it, bruh. Like niggas in these hot and cold performances.
Yeah, you know, and in a bit this time it cost them big time. So I think, I mean, I understand now there's a rematch clause and Brown just invoked it. So I mean, most likely that fight will not happen until probably sometime next year because you know that cut had a life of its own, so it's probably gonna need a little bit extra time to heal. So
for Brown, because you know, in the beginning of the year, Brown is usually kind of hot, so he'll probably whoop Pascal's ass this time and had a performance that we expected them to have last weekend. You know, I swear it's like I'm at to write the Shutterworth almanac for boxing. You know, all the hot and cold performers. You know, I'm gonna just set the dates where you know they fight, and I'm gonna just be like, all right, so Billy Joe Saunders is gonna look awesome this weekend. Yeah, he's gonna fight for the title. Yeah, he's gonna defend his belt. Yeah. Put some money on him. Then I'm like, nah. Andre is gonna look spectacular. Like, not this. Nah, Charlo's gonna be okay. Yeah. It's crazy, man. Like, damn. Like, it makes you appreciate like the fighters who just take every fight serious, no matter what, and just put out their performance day in, day out. You know, the hard workers who just consistent. Because ability ain't much without dependability.
Facts.
So that's the gem for y'all Marcus Brown ass boxers out there. You know, gotta be consistent, man. You know, because there's always somebody lurking trying to get you out your spot.
I'm not surprised because I feel like fighting to the level of your opponent is like the ultimate wave now. Like, it used to be like that one fighter. Now it's like every 10 fighters now. 10 fucking fighters are all doing it. Oh, okay, this guy's a bum, so I'm going to look like shit. Like, what does that do for you? Like, what the fuck?
It's like you could name them for each division. Like, you could honestly go each division and be like, fights down to the competition, name them. And you go light heavyweight, you'd be like Marcus Brown. 168, Billy Joe Saunders. 160, 154, let me see. Give me one.
I'm pretty down to the level of their competition.
It's
47. It could be damn near anybody, really.
Yeah, I mean it's an epidemic, man. It's just like, you know, and Marcus Brown, I mean, it wasn't like he hadn't. I mean, there were fights, but he had enough time to correct it. But like I said, this time it came back to Benham. It bit him in the ass. So I mean, hey, you know, lick your wounds, let your eye heal, and you know, come back stronger next year.
Don't argue with no females.
Don't put no hands on no females. That's the important thing.
I mean, don't even start. That's why I said don't even argue. Like, don't even start. Putting hands on them goes without saying. Like, don't even start. Like, if one even look at you wrong when you walk into a room, just walk out. Like, because man, Pascal, he just remembering the lead up to this fight with the whole, you know, if I put a wig on, will you be able to beat my ass?
Yeah.
You say all that shit, and he literally beats your ass. Like, the dropping you 3 times.
Yeah.
Like I'm really digesting this shit. Like, yeah, Marcus Brown, you took a L. Like,
Staten Island, come get your boy. Come get your boy, Staten Island.
I mean, the odds of that fight, man. I think, like, you know, he was like, I mean, to put money on Pascal, he was like plus 1,300, man. He was like there was like whoever bet on him probably won some serious dough that night. You know what I'm saying? Oh no, for my for the people who are not familiar with gambling, when I say plus 1,300, that means if you put $100 bet in, then you get $1,300. For every $100 you put in to bet, you get $1,300. That was the payout for Pascal victory. Shit, and this is probably one of those times where I wish I was gambling regularly like I used to. I would have loved to, collect $1,300.
We got to start up the Ring Gang gambling pot. We just gotta pick certain. We gotta have a schedule. I'm telling you, we gotta have an almanac for the hot and cold boxers, and then we gotta have the one that's for the draw scores. Where we're like, yeah, this look like it's gonna be a draw. Yeah, this look like he gonna be cold.
Yeah.
We about to turn the fucking all of our Ring Gang followers into degenerate addicts.
Well, hey, I mean, it's up for the boxers to change it, man. We for the fans. I mean, we for the fans first, because we fans. But
exactly.
If the hot and cold, boxers start just being hot, I mean, then we, I'm gonna throw the almanac in the bushes. I ain't gonna need this shit. I ain't gonna need the stars and constellations to figure out your fucking career and shit. When you want to fucking decide to have a good fucking night, a good performance,
right?
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, like all these upsets, it kind of makes you appreciate that we had one fight that kind of just had the narrative,
right? Well, which one are you talking about, LB?
The big boys, the heavyweights.
Yeah, actually, this one I thought would not last long. I mean,
right?
It's mostly because of Chris Arreola, who is on the downslide of his career. But in this fight, I mean, he surprised me by extending Kownacki 12 rounds, which is the first time he's been extended 12 rounds.
12 hard rounds too. Like it wasn't no bullshit 12 rounds. Like it was a good. Like, he knew he was in a fight 12 rounds.
Right, but see, my thing about this, I mean, that fight did shatter some confidence for heavyweights from most punches thrown in the fight. But a lot of those punches were just like, they were arm punches. They weren't like, they weren't like,
close, compact, they weren't no big bombs. This wasn't Ibeabuchi and David Tua. Like,
that was a legit fight.
Real bombs, like real heavyweight punches. Nah, I feel you, cuz I feel you.
Yeah, well, half of that is because fucking Arreola's left hand was basically ineffective. He was basically he broke it. Like, I don't know what round he broke it, but like after he broke it, he was basically just using that to like any punch that he threw with the left, simply just to throw it, like had no impact, no oomph on it. It was just throwing it just to throw it.
Right.
And for setup, like, placing the right hand.
Yeah, and then Kownacki, like his conditioning, let's say, because I know basically he was arm punching him because he wasn't in the right shape. So it was just like, if I was arm punching, I'm pretty sure I could shatter some punch stats.
Yeah,
it's like,
I felt like we had a good fight for like the first maybe 5 rounds until you kind of see like, okay, like that going to another gear. And so they just kind of let it roll out for the rest of the way with the whole fucking phone box arm punch war, which was mildly entertaining, I'm so used to seeing Chris Arreola, get, really looking bad lately. So to see him go the distance and, and even land some good shots on Kownacki, was decent. So,
right.
I was disappointed. I honestly was very disappointed that that Kownacki couldn't get Arreola out of there, because you have a fighter that's on the complete. I'll be respectful and won't call him washed. I'll just say he's kind of on the downslide. like halfway down. I'll be nice. And with,
kindness about it, like he's definitely on the downside.
With one arm. So you're telling me that guy that's on the downslide basically is downslid, and with one arm you couldn't get him out of there, and he was making him uncomfortable in the past, like the last 3 rounds. The last 3 rounds, he was pushing him back.
Yes, and he was actually snapping Kownacki's head back with some right hands. Like I almost feel like if this was Arreola from like maybe 5 years ago, or even Arreola didn't break his hand, he could have probably won this fight. Like he was landing a little better than he was supposed to. It just made me think of the Charles Martin fight, where I felt like Kownacki, you know, his conditioning, he couldn't, you know, he let a guy come back and, you know, put hands on him. And that fight could have been a draw. So, I mean, Kownacki, he's definitely like, you know, making his way up for a title. But, you know, he got some holes in his game. But, you know, we know more about him than, let's say, a Gerald Miller.
Yeah, you know, it's just like, I mean, Kownacki, I mean, his toughness will get him so far, but I just don't see. I mean, eventually his luck will run out when his conditioning runs out, and then you'll see a brutal KO. Like, I mean, he took a lot of punches from Arreola, like, and he didn't take a step back, and even he was even like praising Chris, you know, like, you know, Aztec Warrior and all that, you know. But I just feel like, you know, dude, you gotta get yourself in shape. Like,
yeah, he was too heavy. Like, think about it. Like, Chris Arreola was older and he was in better shape. Like, he came 240. Arreola wasn't even real big. Like, very small. And I'm used to Arreola being big in the ring. Like even compared to his opponent. Kownacki was like 266, and you seen it. Like, I'm like, damn, like I know he absorbed some of those body punches and shit, but it wasn't a good look because it's like he ain't had that extra gear. And like you know, Bodega said, like, if he had that extra gear, he was supposed to run Arreola out the ring in the 8, 9, 10 rounds.
Right, exactly.
Especially with a dude that has one arm. Like, why are you even letting him? Like anything that he throws with that left has nothing behind it. He's simply throwing it just to throw it, like them weak ass jabs. Like, I'm just kind of disgusted, low key.
Thomas Adamek syndrome.
Yeah, and what you said, Pat, kind of makes me. You're saying, oh, before his, you know, when his stamina and conditioning fail him, kind of makes me wonder if maybe he's on the same shit that Big Baby's on, cause you know they fucking train together and shit. Both two big fat niggas fucking throwing how many punches a fucking fight. Kind of makes me a little suspicious.
Yeah, you know, that's an interesting concept. I mean, now, of course, that means that he would have probably found a way around his drug testing, or they didn't use VADA for drug testing. You know, but in this case, Big Baby, although he was big, though, Big Baby was solid. He wasn't sloppy big. I mean, he was big. But the thing is, though, yeah, his work rate was, you know, was a little bit above average for a guy his size, especially for a guy that would keep on increasing in weight.
He kept getting big, and then a lot of his punches didn't have the power like you expect a big guy to have, you know. And Kownacki, to his credit, has power. Like, you know, he puts shots together. He's heavy-handed. But, you know, Big Baby Miller, it's just, I don't know, man. I just felt like you didn't know what you was getting. You got a big guy who throws a lot of punches, but they're not fast and not quick, and it's not a lot of big punches. So you're like, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, outside of the Adamek fight, you know, reference him twice. You know, he never really showed any real punching power like that, or he basically just wore you down.
I mean, I gotta say that.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that although he doesn't really have much, Big Baby doesn't really have much snap behind his punches, but he's pretty light on his feet. I will always give him that. For a big guy, he's pretty light on his feet.
Yeah, he's athletic, which I think serves him well. I mean, obviously he was a kickboxer or anything like that. He's an athletic
Which
guy.
is like, and that's the opposite for me. That's the opposite of Kownacki. Kownacki has more snap. Like he's hard. He throws harder punches, but like he's very heavy footed, so he's mad slow on his feet. Like really no footwork.
Yeah, that's true because when Arreola was able to pump the jab during the fight before his hand got messed up, he was able to move around and kind of place his shots a lot better on Kownacki. So just imagine a guy like Wilder, using his reach and just circling, Adam like that, But he's still in there. Like I feel like he could give Wilder a fight. He throws the punches. He throws enough punches. He has power. I mean, because obviously, that's the fight they're gonna try to make.
Not anytime soon.
Not anytime soon. Because we got to get the revenge of the rematches. But they're putting them out there. Maybe they're trying to get you thinking about it. Maybe for next year.
Yeah.
That's how heavyweight. That's how slow heavyweight boxing is. Everybody fights twice a year.
And fights the same person twice a year sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, Kownacki's more deserving of a Wilder fight than Brazil. I'll say that.
Yeah, he is.
But let's say it all depends on this mandatory list. You have Ortiz. They're trying to make for November, and then most likely a Kownacki fight probably will not happen until probably like March or April of 2020.
Somewhere Dylan White is still waiting on his title shot.
Yeah.
And he more worthy than all of them. And he still ain't getting that fucking title shot.
Yeah, well,
and with
his drug system.
Yeah, I don't even want to hear that because he about to fight Ortiz again, and Ortiz done tested dirty. So we can't pick and choose what cheaters we want to fucking fight. Especially if we gonna fight these niggas again. Like, get the fuck out of here. So nah, fuck all that. Just insist for Vada on a Dylan White fight and finally fight Dylan White. Like, I don't know. Like, I know niggas probably be like, damn, he either gotta be from Britain or fucking Jamaica.
Yeah, they got the more excuses. None of that shit.
I think people just don't want to really I think Dillian White would make that would be a good fight for Wilder, but I think just people just don't really care enough about him, unfortunately. There's that syndrome of, oh, well, whatever. He kind of gets the blah treatment, whether he should or shouldn't.
Yeah, let's say Dillian White is right now, they're trying to figure out what to do with him. This test, did he really fail? Did he really pop dirty? I mean, he popped dirty, but did he really pop dirty? He's like a question mark, and who knows? Like I said, Dillian White is not. He's not ranked with. Obviously the other holder is, of course, Andy Ruiz, and I'm pretty sure he probably has a higher ranking with that. But yeah, it's going to be some time before White. With this setback, about time for White actually gets his title shot for sure. That's oh man, but so yeah, that was our recap